They cleaned up downstairs in the lobby. It looks so nice, and you can really appreciate all the antiques and all the
really
old
highlights
radios
everything that
and
they have.
all that stuff that they have. So yeah, we're really excited about that.
And what a good event they have going on outside.
Yeah,
If
right?
you want to know what a radio studio looks like, come on by. What, they're open till 7?
I think they're doing the
And you
open
can
house.
see us live.
Yeah, 5 to 7. They're doing it. They have food. They have drink down there. We have George, one and only George, with us. Hey, George. I know.
In
right?
person,
In
eyes to eyes, right?
Yeah. Do you love it? He's like so excited to have us here. And we also have Julia with us tonight, so we can't forget that we have our one and only Julia. She's our administrative coordinator from the office. And hello, Julia.
Hi.
And of course, she comes in and she knows somebody, you know.
Oh, right off
Yeah.
the bat, just knows.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I
that?
used to intern at WHCA, so I saw
look at that.
someone that I used to work with.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
Tachi, right? Tachi.
Yep.
Yes.
Kevin.
So,
yeah.
yep, saw him, and again, we have all of the WATD celebrities are walking around out in the parking lot. So if anybody is in the area and you want to see them, we're in Marshfield. They're on Enterprise Drive. I'm sure they won't. Hey, I'm just inviting all of you because
Anybody, come on by.
anybody can come
Thinking
on
about
by.
a career in
Anybody
radio?
come on by.
Yeah. Yeah, it is actually. But we're here tonight in studio, and we are discussing disclosures and what do you need to disclose. So we'll start on that topic. If you have any questions for us, feel free to give us a buzz. We are here again live in studio. We have George answering the phones for us. 781-837-4900. He will pipe you right through to us. And if you don't want to talk about disclosures, you want to talk about anything else real estate, give us a ring-a-ling. We're here.
Or talk about the radio.
Or talk about the radio. You
Talk
can
about radio.
Or if you still want to guess how many martinis we had that Friday, you could still win a gift card. Mary, I don't think you heard this. We announced on the radio that we had quite a few martinis when we were
Oh
away.
yeah,
So if somebody
let's have
could
a
guess
guess.
how
I mean,
many.
we have some videos.
Yeah.
Maybe we should put some videos out
somebody
there,
could
and then you
guess.
can guess how many.
or
we have.
guess who's had a glass of wine tonight and who hasn't. Yeah, I know. It's not on my Weight Watchers plan. But anyways, you can also find us live on Facebook. We are streaming live, so you can go to Sharon Costa McNamara. Can't really see me in the picture, but I don't know how to get in there. But here I am. Yeah, that's all right. We can back it up, or I think usually, I don't remember where we put it. But anyways, so want to start the show? Go ahead.
Yeah, we're talking about disclosures tonight. Mary, you look like a deer in headlights. Welcome back.
Welcome back. We need that music.
We actually did this show before, I think with Amy Masper, right?
Oh, yeah,
From
so-
Sherman Law. So
I got one of my favorite lines from her at that point, because she goes, "It depends." Every time we asked her a question, she goes, "It depends."
we were like, we get it, Amy. You're an attorney.
It depends. So I feel very much so that everything that we're going to talk about tonight, I'm going to say, "It depends." No, I'm kidding. Yeah, but not really.
Oh, careful, you're gonna knock that over. Yeah, so what are some things that might depend? So we're talking about disclosures, so we can talk about maybe Mary, since you are, the shining star tonight.
Whoa.
You put in a lot of offers for buyers.
Yeah.
What are some common disclosures that you might be looking for when you're putting in an offer for a property?
So first, a disclosure would be anything that's considered a material defect, health defect, something that is concerning the health, safety, or structure of the house that the seller and or the seller's agent is aware of. So you're supposed to be disclosing, we talk about it when we're talking about home inspections, radon, lead paint, anything that could potentially affect the seller's desire, or no, the buyer's, desire to purchase the property. And that's in general what a disclosure is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I walk into a house that was built in, 1900s, if I as a seller knew that, or had had a lead paint test done, I would have to then disclose, that's what we mean when we're talking about disclosures, I would have to disclose to the buyer that I had a lead paint test done when I purchased in, 2019, and I know for a fact that lead paint exists here.
Yeah. So why is lead paint itself?
Because it's a health hazard.
Uh-huh.
So health, safety, structure,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I just look at it, I look at disclosures in general as an overarching, is it going to affect the buyer's
desire to purchase the property.
Mhm.
So that could be anything from the status of the septic system, or we could say if somebody died in the house.
Yeah,
That's a big
so,
topic that I think we'll get into at some
yeah,
point.
that is in there. Julia, you did the agenda, that is
Yeah.
the ghost thing in there?
I did put that in there, but I didn't go too detailed.
You didn't get too detailed into it.
That's a
But what-
good one that I think we need to save for later. That's a fun
Yeah,
one.
we'll save
Yeah.
that one for later. Maybe you know what, maybe we'll have another little contest. Why don't we do that? We'll have a contest. So, the question is for the contest, does a real estate agent have to disclose publicly, that, somebody has died in a property, in a home? Does the real estate agent have to disclose that up front? So we will, how do you wanna run the contest?
Yeah, just call into the studio.
Yeah, call into the
Give
studio.
us your answers.
781
Give us your answers and give us your
I'm
reasons.
giving the number.
Sorry.
781-837-4900. Call George at the studio. He'll pipe you in right to us.
Yep.
The queens of Marshfield right now. And we can have a little discussion about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so there we're doing. We'll give a little giveaway.
Yeah.
Getaway.
Getaway.
Going away on vacation.
We'll get away.
Yeah, I know. And the phones are ringing.
Yeah.
There we go.
I
So-
know we do have Sue Bollinger calling tonight. She has a fantastic new listing in Pembroke. I think we've all seen it. It's just a gorgeous
Her video
house. It's
came out
just
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, so anything else you wanna say about lead paint? So you have to disclose it so it's disclosable, you have to disclose it. Do people have to get rid of lead paint?
No. So if you're the seller,
Mhm.
even if you are aware that there is lead paint in your home, if you had a multitude of buyers coming from a market that we have just previously come from,
Mhm.
then you potentially, there might be a buyer who's not concerned and doesn't necessarily care that the house has lead paint and is perfectly fine taking it the way that it is. Or you might get a buyer who wants to remediate, and if that's the case, which one are you gonna choose? So,
Mhm.
no, technically you don't have to do anything about it, but most buyers, once the knowledge is there, are going to request in some way, shape, or form that it is remediated.
Yeah, and we do have a caller, but I wanna stay on this lead paint for just 1 second. Or,
Okay.
why don't we take our call and we'll get back to lead paint, cause there's a lot of things that we need to discuss
Yeah.
about lead paint. Okay, so we have a caller, not sure. Hello,
Hello,
Lisa
Lisa
from
from
Norwell.
Norwell.
How are you? We are doing great.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
We're having fun tonight, if you can't
Yeah.
tell.
Well, come on by, they're having an
Come on
open
by.
house, there's food, there's drinks, so come on by. So are you calling about our question that we asked? Okay. Okay. Mhm. Cause if you had an antique, I mean, that list could be long, but you're gonna be surprised by this answer. You're still gonna win on our contest, so make sure that George has your information. Yeah, we do not have to disclose if somebody has died in the home, even if it was recent, yes. And the reason for that is because we can't put a stigma on that home. So when we do have to disclose it is if somebody should ask. So that's the big one with that. So this is the only one that we're talking about tonight.
Yeah.
When it's somebody dies, yes. So if that is something that bothers you or something that concerns you, you make sure when you're buying a house, you ask that question. Because if you ask the question, they have to answer it.
Absolutely.
If you don't ask the question, you don't have to say anything. So in some circumstances, unfortunately, there are a lot of, death by suicide and situations like that, that would put a type of stigma on a home. Now, I do know of a situation where I had a client one time and he found out soon thereafter that somebody did, die by suicide in his garage of his home, and he was very upset that he didn't know about it. But he tried to say, well, if I had had that information, I would not have proceeded forward with the purchase of the home, which may be true, but it isn't anything that has to be disclosed, only if you ask. So if that's important to you, nope. Nope. No.
Yeah.
Not unless you asked, because if you asked and I said, oh, well, I don't know, but I certainly knew that somebody died by suicide in this home and that's something that, you know, really affected you, then that's us lying. That's something that we
That's
have to
acting
disclose it.
unethically.
Yeah, and the other thing too is, if somebody asks us a question, I'm never gonna give the opposite answer. Somebody could say, water in the basement isn't a good one, cause we would have to disclose that, but, did that screen ever break in on that window? Cause it looks a little wonky. If I knew that it had broken at one point, of course it's not disclosable because it was sort of fixed. It is what it is. It is the house is as is. But if I knew that information, I would, and somebody asked me, I will answer every single question that you ask me. And that's why it's so important to have a buyer's agent, because Mary, you work as the buyer's agent on our team primarily. You have a list of questions that you're always asking.
Oh, 100%. So when you're making creating the relationship with your buyer's agent, you're talking about all the things that are important to you. So if I knew going into any house, especially if it was an older house, and like I think about my house, and it was built in the 1900s. I can 1000% say that at some point in time, somebody passed away in that house. And actually, no, but really, somebody did pass away, and I know that for a fact. But in the day and age of home health care and hospice, like, you have to think it's a much
more
larger
it's
than
more common than people.
Mhm.
That's why
yeah.
that's why you don't see in property descriptions, like in MLS or Zillow or anything, that you don't say like, oh, it has gorgeous hardwood floors throughout, and by the way, somebody passed away in the first floor suite, but but you make your way up the stairs and
Oh, you have a sense of humor. I like that. So that beam that fell on somebody's head, well, it didn't work out so well for them. But but you don't have to disclose it unless. But you know what? That just gave me an opportunity, though. Talking about a very serious situation there, when somebody, death by suicide, it does happen a lot. It happens primarily in people's homes. My daughter Mackenzie works for Salve Regina University. She is building a healthy campus over there, and she is going to be doing a walk for
Out of the Darkness walk.
Out of the Darkness walk. And when is that, Julia?
October 22nd.
October
Saturday.
22nd. This team that you see sitting here right now at WATD, we are going to be walking in that walk. And so if all of our WATD listeners, please follow along with us on Facebook so you can support us on our walk and support our team as we try to get some donations for such a serious cause. So thank you for helping us plug that. It wasn't even intended, but
Serendipitous.
Yeah, but it did work. It's
Absolutely.
so important. And again, we very much, all of us at Boston Connect Real Estate, I am the broker owner of the company. We have our own team, and we had an office meeting today. There was 18 of us there sitting at the meeting. And when you take that holistic approach to selling real estate and realizing that these are what we talked about today is all the events we have for our clients and everything, and it's really making sure that we're helping people make the best decisions, their financial decisions for their future. And this last market that we saw was reckless.
Yeah.
I think we're the only agents using that word because we didn't like it. We wanted to slow it down.
Yeah.
Now people are freaking out because, how come we're not getting 100,000 over? We heard a story today. One of our agents told us a story today. I won't use any names, but she had a close friend. The friend was going to use her to list the house. Another agent came in and sort of aggressively used all the sale tactics and made, convinced this person, you should use me, not your friend. So they went ahead and used this other agent who's not been in the business very long, doesn't know doesn't have a lot of experience, right? I'm not going to say she doesn't know a lot. She doesn't have a lot of years of experience. And she ended up buying a house with her and selling a house for her. And it was a local community, and let's just say that it was upwards of over $400,000 over asking on this house.
Yeah.
There
Well,
is,
that's what you mean when you say reckless. It's,
That's
I mean,
reckless.
there's no numbers to prove. There's no numbers to prove your sale price. It's all just emotionally driven.
Yeah, and what we have convinced many of people, and in my career and just our team, I have convinced people I don't think that it is a wise move financially for you to move. If you want to, we would love it if you chose us.
Yeah.
I mean, we would love that. I mean, Mary, we sold last year over 60 homes, just our team alone. Mel, how many for the office? Over 300.
Yeah.
You know, for a small boutique, we were doing great. But there's also a handful of people that we're talking out of it because I just financially don't think it's a good idea. And I'm always grateful when they find me because I know somebody else will convince them to do it. Well, we hope so.
Yeah, we hope so.
So
We
you know
hope so.
who you're calling when that time comes. Hopefully we know who you're calling when that time comes.
I know, yeah. Send your family and friends. And I'll honestly,
We'll tell you if
come on by.
somebody
There's
died in
plenty
the
of food
house.
downstairs. I mean, honestly, the WATD crew, they don't mind. I'm inviting everybody.
Yeah, come on down.
Yeah, exactly. George agrees. George is like, hey, then bring them on over. So, yeah. So, George, we have all of her information? Okay, off air, we'll
Yeah,
get all your
don't
information
give
so
your
we can
number on
send
air.
you, so we can send you, a gift card. And we're so thankful that you're listening to our show tonight, and thank you for the answer and having the courage to do it and really being understanding when you weren't right.
Well, actually, wait, I have a note on that. I think
Okay.
it's important to say that we're talking about Massachusetts
Yes.
because I received a text message saying that there are 3 states that you do have to disclose if somebody has died in the property within the past 3 years. So I just looked it up to make sure. So if you live in California, South Dakota, or Alaska, you are required to disclose.
Now, Alaska surprises me, because chances are, you know what, if
No
I'm...
one's moving there? Is that
No,
what
no,
you're
no, no, no.
saying?
I'm pretty sure if I'm having a heart attack in my bed, don't even bother bringing me to the hospital. It's
Too
cold
much
out
work.
there.
It's too much work.
It's way too cold out there. You'll have to shovel. Just let me die right here in the house.
They'll have to
Too much
like
hassle.
strap you to a sled.
It's a hassle. I'm curious, was that your mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, Liz, you're so smart. We have
I
to
looked
Liz
it up.
here.
Liz, you gotta call
She's
it.
there doing research behind the scenes.
Well,
Liz,
she would
by
know.
the way, would be Melissa's
Yeah.
mother, just so you know.
Talk about a detective. She's the detective, not me. She
Yeah,
knows now.
that's awesome. Well, and you know, here's another one too. I'll tell you, I have a story about this. There was a house that I was listing in one of the local towns, and I'm a very empathic person, so I pick up on houses. When I'm in houses, I pick up energy in a house. So I know it sounds weird. I know it sounds hokey. I assure everybody out there, I am as normal as sort of abnormal can be. And you know, there's sometimes I'm in a house and I can feel the energy of that house, and I can tell certain things. Like I can walk into a house and unfortunately, I know when there's a divorce situation before they even tell me. Like I feel it.
The vibe.
I feel
The
it.
energy.
And I also feel when there's been deaths sometimes in a house, I can pick up on it. Well, there was this one house, and this was back in the day before we had professional photographers, and I had this really nice little camera. I thought I was like, you know,
Tech savvy.
I thought I was tech savvy. It was like the first digital camera, right? And I was taking pictures of the house, and I'm all excited, and you know, all the pictures are coming out great. And then I go into this one room, take a picture, and the red dot comes on. Like it won't focus. I'm like, that's interesting. And then I go into the other corner because I like to do it from all 4 corners of the bed. It was a bedroom. Take the picture again. Red light comes up. Won't take a picture. I continuously tried to take pictures in there, and I said, I got your message. You don't want me taking the pictures of this room. So later on, I finished doing everything, and I talked to the homeowner, and I was like, can I ask you like a silly question? Like, don't think differently of me, because it's hard to bring this up, you know? And I said, do you have spirits in your home? Like, do you witness like different types of spirits and energies in your home? Because it was an antique. And she's like, I do. Why do you ask? And I said, because I can't take a picture up in that room. And she goes, that's exactly the room where we feel that where they have seen ghosts and stuff. I didn't see a ghost, but interesting, right?
Yeah. I would believe it in an antique. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
we're full of them in New England.
Well, and people will say, well, are there ghosts in the house? Well, I don't know because I can't see them. There's no way for me to verify that.
They're not just like walking by. giving you a wave.
Exactly.
The only
That's a
time it does-
non-disclosure. I don't
Well,
know.
It does become a disclosure if it's, if you know that people have actively had paranormal activity people come,
Yeah.
or,
Oh, yeah.
or like
Like
a,
if
a
I know.
medium.
Good
if you-
point, Mary.
So if somebody, cause that happened to to us in a property in Hanson that was behind or in front of the tuberculosis hospital.
Oh, yeah.
And they had, you know, I don't know who it was, but somebody come,
Ghostbusters.
investigation, discovery, something, come out
Yeah.
and do an expose on the specific house.
There's
So
no
it was
way
one
I'd
of
go
the
for it.
things I remember walking through the house and it was like, oh, hey, by the way, we have paranormal activity here. And I was like, didn't know I was getting into this today. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but again, do we have to, we don't disclose that unless it's asked. That's putting a stigma on the house. and
They
we can't do
they
that.
wanted it to be known.
Oh, well,
they
good.
wa-
Did they ever sell it?
They did.
Really?
Not to our client.
Yeah, well, I know. All it reminds me of is like some comedian that was doing a show and it's like, I don't understand it when people know like they have ghosts in the house and the ghost says get out, then just get out.
Sell it.
Why are you there? They want you out. So this is a very good, I'm so glad that we asked the question. I'm so glad that you called with the answer. Did you have any other questions, comments, concerns for us tonight? All right,
But
perfect.
anytime you wanna call in, you know where to find us.
Perfect. So Lisa, thank you again for calling, and if you have any ideas for our show, certainly give us a call. We'd love to, have you, we'll have you on as a guest. How's that?
Come on down.
I know. I already feel like I wanna hang out with you, so there we go. All right, Lisa, thank you so much for calling in. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Bye, Lisa.
And don't hang up, Lisa, because George is gonna get your information, and hopefully she didn't hang up.
I don't think she did.
So what do you think? That was
I feel like that's the one that everybody, so
Gets
all of the
done.
other ones, the safety structure, health, everybody knows what they feel should be disclosed, and that's I think what we're here to talk about tonight, what should be versus what is, but that's the hot one, that's the hot
Yeah, I
topic
think that's a
of,
personal preference.
Yeah.
To me, I don't care. I mean, you could die anywhere, really. I mean, what am I not supposed to go drive anywhere? And walk anywhere?
Is nobody
Go
gonna
up down the
live
road? I
in
mean,
Buckingham
people die
Palace
everywhere.
anymore because the Queen just died there? I mean, come
I
on.
thought she died in the hospital.
No, I think she was in her home.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who
One
knows?
of her many homes. Anyways.
You just gotta avoid that one and then go to all the other ones.
Well, I'm
and then
sure
you're
in the
fine.
past there have been kings and queens and everything else in between.
it's a relative subject, but if it is important to you, it is something
Yeah.
that you should be either asking yourself or requesting that your buyer's agent be aware of so that they can help you find that information. And there's no such thing as not doing enough due diligence on your own, so if it is really something that's very, very important to you, you should be Googling, you should be talking to your local police department. I think the more research you do, the better.
Yeah.
You know?
And I was gonna just bring up a point and I don't remember what it was. The bringing up the,
Talking to your police department,
no,
Googling.
it was, everybody, oh, I know. It's the preference to you, it's
Yeah.
personal to you. So I know that I had been working with a client, they were of Asian descent, and their culture was very much 100%, they had to know for every single house. I had to ask the question, has anybody ever died in this home?
Yeah.
So you really have to, just be aware.
your
And
buyer.
I love what Lisa said too, though, is this is why you need a buyer's agent, because you don't know what you don't know. So that's why we would let you know if
Yeah.
that's important to you. Because you could be that could be important to you. You could be sitting in your bed the first night you sleep in there, and then, someone's hovering right over your head.
I think the buyer's agent, so like not to
Just walking
even.
by.
Yeah. We have another caller. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I think is this Sue Bollinger? Hello. Good. How are you? Oh,
I'm
yeah,
actually having
yeah.
a blast.
We're
We're
today.
having a good time.
We are having fun today.
We're back in our old element. Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about death. This is super fun.
Super upbeat.
Yeah, such a great
Um,
topic.
Yeah, well, here, I'll do a little bit of an introduction for you, Sue, okay?
Yeah.
So, this is Sue Bollinger. She is a full-time real estate agent here at Boston Connect Real Estate. And by here, I don't mean WATD, because I keep forgetting we're here. But Sue, you've been with Sharon almost since the beginning of right? And you guys worked at a previous,
Mhm.
previous company together, so you guys have been personal friends for a very long time, and we've
She's
seen,
like my sidekick. I gotta tell you, like, the other day she was trying to do a postcard, and I was like, Melissa, you do my postcards forever. Mary, you were doing them before. I haven't done a postcard in a long time. I'm gonna be honest. I'll be bougie and say I haven't done it, right?
Very interesting.
And I was like, don't you? Oh yeah, Julie was there. Julie's like, it was very interesting. And I'm like, I'll help you. I'm in. But Sue and I sit next to each other, and we get into technology, and we're like whipping that laptop back and forth.
It's like a TV show.
We
Like
have
a
often
straight
said that our
hour.
office should have a TV show. So.
Yeah.
Often say
Should
it
just
should be a
live
sitcom.
stream it at this point.
Live stream to YouTube.
We should. We really should. Some of the things that we said, I cannot repeat on this show. So, anyways, you continue with
Yeah.
your introduction. I'm sorry. I just
No.
got excited.
Don't ask us.
You figured out how to do it and then you forgot.
But yes, Sue, you have joined us as a guest co-host in the past, but tonight you are joining us to promote your fabulous new listing in Pembroke. So why don't you take the floor, tell all of our listeners where it is and how they can view it.
Perfect. It's absolutely stunning. Mary and I went there Friday
Yeah.
to preview it, and one of the other things that you missed, not that you missed, but you overlooked was the location of where this is. I know it's your memory. Hey, listen, I got you, girl. I got your back. Don't you worry about a thing. No, the location is such a nice
Prime.
location. It's so convenient to get to Route 3,
convenient, but it's private.
and it's so private. Yeah.
Convenient, but it's private. Shopping, anything.
Where the Hanover Mall used to be.
I think it's, yeah, I was about to
Oh.
say it's Hanover Crossing.
You will be impressed.
How many bedrooms and bathrooms?
Mhm. 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 Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. I mean, it's just so well appointed, and I hate using that phrase because it sounds so real estate-y, doesn't it? And that's a real word, by the way, real estate-y. Well appointed, but she has such great taste. I mean,
It does,
what,
it's
and
stunning.
Mary, was it Mary that you said it when we were in there? They're like, oh my, Sharon, I know you love this because this is like your taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very Sharon-esque design.
Yeah.
It's all clean lines, and there's a lot of interesting architecture, which I really appreciated while we were walking through.
Yeah, it's not just
It's
your
not cookie
standard.
cutter,
Yeah, it's not a
it's,
cookie cutter
yeah.
bedroom box,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Mhm. And
No.
did she give the price?
Yeah, so give the address one more time, maybe tell everybody the price, and again, I want you to give your contact information so people can reach out to you directly to view this beautiful home. one more time, your phone number. Yeah. And you were gonna say something else after I cut you off.
I think that you were given your email.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
people can actually go to bostonconnect.com and you can find all Sue's information on our website as well. So she has a full profile there, and it's really easy for her to set up an appointment and show it because she lives about 5 minutes from there anyway. So she can certainly get you in there. The home is beautiful. It is definitely worth a look at. So
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Do you have another open house planned? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because you had 18 people come to the open house this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah,
Perfect.
it's a beautiful home. I wish I could buy it. A
Yeah.
little out of my budget, but
You have to say one day.
one day.
One day.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Have a good night.
Have a
Thanks
good
for
night,
calling.
Sue.
All right. Bye. So that was Sue Bollinger. She is a full-time real estate agent at Boston Connect Real Estate. She's been a full-time agent for eons, and she's just so good at what she does in her job. And it's really
One of the most committed people I've
Oh,
ever
yeah.
met in my life.
Yeah, she really is. She's really good at her job. That's why she's top of her game there. So.
Yeah.
All right, where are we going? Any other callers? No? Okay, 781-837-4900. If you have any questions for us, please feel free to give us a call. We are in studio live at WATD in Marshfield. They're having their open house tonight from 5 to 7. So I think there's lots of food out there still left and drinks. And if you want to come down and meet the crew from WATD and all the characters, we'll call them. All the characters that are here. Well, they're sort of characters, but they're like very animated when they're on air, right?
They are. I think people think we're animated when we're on air in comparison to what we talk.
Yeah.
How we talk in real life.
Yeah. maybe.
IRL.
What?
In real life.
Oh. What? Huh? Yeah, I don't even know what that means. All right, so where are we gonna take from there?
Back to disclosures?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked about lead paint. We had the question about the death in the house. What are some common disclosures that you're pointing at me?
Well, because Sharon actually touched upon one a little bit earlier, and it was water. So the existence of water penetration within the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a complicated one, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So is it, I get a little bit of water seepage because I have a fieldstone foundation or my basement floods.
Mm-hmm.
So which, are both disclosable? Or is one more disclosable than the other? Like, what is the line?
You know
feel
what I
like-
think is really difficult, and I want people to understand this too, is, and I've said this before on our show, is we're the listing agent on this property.
We don't live there.
We don't live there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anything about this house unless the seller tells me. I'm not sleeping overnight or anything, ever. You know what I mean? So I don't know what is really happening. P.S. is why you get a home inspection,
Mhm.
right? And I would say, you know, we have people on both spectrums that will say, like I did an analysis for somebody the other day, just this week actually, and they said, you know, on the side of our yard, like in really heavy storms, the water puddles there. And I said, okay, does it make it to the house? Like, does it flood your basement? They're like, no. I mean, I would have never in a million years ever thought that I would have had to tell somebody that.
No.
Right?
Good.
You know, but then there's the other people that it would be, you know, the whole entire house, you know, that it floods and it goes into the basement and they end up with, you know, 2 feet of water every time it rains and they don't tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't
It's
know
flooded
until it
multiple
rains.
times.
Yeah.
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 So,
Well, I think that's an important distinction too. Like, you just per the seller, so that's always
Yeah.
kind of what we're saying is like
Yeah.
per the seller, they have not experienced water since X, Y, and Z. Usually it's the
Mhm.
100-year storm.
Yep.
And or if you're looking in listings, so MLS listings, and you can't see this when you're on third-party websites. So again, a reason that you want to get connected with a buyer's agent and really
Mhm.
get in MLS. 99.9% of your listings are going to say buyer to perform their own due diligence.
mhm,
Seller and seller's agent make no representations about this property,
mhm,
and that it neither expressed, verbal, or implied, right?
mhm.
So that's a blanket protection
Nicely
saying
done.
like, what?
Nicely done.
Oh, thank you. I read it a lot. That's a blanket statement, just kind of protecting both the seller and the agents from information that either wasn't disclosed to them or they didn't know, or
Mhm.
it's Massachusetts is a buyer beware state,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Caveat emptor.
Caveats emptor. There's a boat when I'm out in Ayrtown, and that's the name of the boat, and I always think of that. We have a caller.
Oh, we have another caller.
Maybe we should do our show from here every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
This is my favorite.
Oh,
show
nice.
ever.
Hello, Jacqueline from Situate. How are you?
Oh,
Yes,
we can hear
we
you
can.
perfect.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm. Just Google the address and stuff, yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, and you know, it's funny because, I mean, you're in the real estate industry as well, so you probably see new construction and we see a lot of antiques. And I remember one of the first times that I was showing, Mary was with me and we were looking at a house and it was an antique and I was like, wipe your feet before you get in my car. And she's like, what? I was like, you wipe your feet as soon as you get out of it, like out of those antique homes.
And what is it? You only go, you leave out of the same door you came?
Yeah, you leave the same door that you came in, so. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll have to hang out one day for sure.
Mhm.
Well, yes. Okay, perfect. Well, that sounds great. Thanks, Jacqueline. Thanks so much for calling. We appreciate it. Yeah. All right.
thank
Thank you
you,
so much.
Jacqueline.
Bye-bye. And we only have 3 minutes left here, so Melissa, can you do our final, you know, how people can find us and all that good information?
If you want to listen to any of our past shows, you can go to talkrealestateroundtable.com. You can go onto your podcast app and type in Talk Real Estate Roundtable. Go to bostonconnect.com, find all of our contact information there. Make sure you follow us on social media, Boston Connect Real Estate and McNamara Broker Team. Yeah, we have 2.5 minutes. Did I get it all out?
I think that
so.
you did,
Yeah.
yeah, so we're easy to find. So just as a recap, Mary, you wanna just give a quick recap when it comes to disclosures and the importance of having a buyer's agent?
The disclosures are really anything safety, structural, or health hazards
hazardous.
to the house. That is
Mhm.
what an agent is required to disclose.
And I always like the one line is the information, when a seller says, do I have to disclose this? Is the information that you're about to give me, would that prevent somebody from would it change somebody's decision to purchase your home or
1000%.
not, right? So that's always a good, way
Rule
of
of thumb.
thinking, yeah, rule
Yep.
of thumb is to think of it about that way. And George, I just wanna thank you for having such a great night, you were like a killer rock star in there on
Yeah.
the phones and everything. No, but you are, but it was busy tonight.
Now we can see you, so it's a lot easier to communicate. We're like, oh hey, like little winking eyes and.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. We're gonna have to get a webcam for the studio here so they can see us and we can see them.
We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, you can figure it out. Well, you could just go on there and we can see you. So we can just
Yeah.
get your own Zoom. We'll give you a private one.
Yeah, because
But,
trust me, when we used to come in here, we would come in on 2 wheels late. Usually.
I know. The music would be
We're lucky we
playing.
get downstairs.
I know. Well, thank you again to all of our WATD listeners for listening to us tonight. Congratulations to WATD and Ed Perry and the gang here, Rob Hackler, as always. We really appreciate you and all you do for Boston Connect Real Estate and our team, the Sharon and Mary Real Estate team, along with Melissa Wallace, who is our Director of Operations at Boston Connect Real Estate. And if you need a one-on-one consultation, we'd be happy to give you one. So you just give us a call at the office, 781-826-8000. And you can find all of our contact information on bostonconnect.com.
Yeah. And it's happy birthday, Dexter.
Happy birthday to Dexter.
Happy
Very
birthday
strong.
to my baby.
Yeah, we have a dog birthday party to get to after
Oh,
here.
and you know what? Save the date. I'm gonna give you a reminder. So
October 22nd.
October 29th.
Oh,
We're
is-
gonna be having
oh,
a
dog
parade at our office, a dog parade,
Halloween
costume
dog parade.
Halloween dog party. So make sure you follow along with us. We'll see you on Saturday.
Whoop, whoop.
Have a great week, everybody. It did seem more real when we were here, didn't it?
I think we're less distracted.
Mm-hmm.